we're going to be reacting to the most important material ever made, veritasium.
Glass is inherently brittle. It is the very symbol we use for fragility. But these days,
true.
we expect so much from this material. We want it to be perfectly transparent, scratch-resistant, thin, and even flexible. But most of
Flexible glass? Is that even possible?
all, we want it not to break.
So, is it possible to make unbreakable glass?
Well, in this video, I will make the case that glass is one of the most important materials humans have ever made. It has transformed how we live, launched numerous scientific revolutions, and forever altered how we think about our place in the universe.
Part of this video was sponsored by Saley.
In mid-2006, Steve Jobs had a problem. Apple was working on the first iPhone, set to be released in January 2007.
That was in 2006?
But Jobs wasn't satisfied with the screen. The prototypes he was testing had plastic screens, which scratched easily. So Jobs wanted glass. But regular glass wouldn't work. It too would get scratched up, and it would also shatter. Plus, he wanted the phone to be slick, so the glass had to be really thin. So he called up the CEO of Corning, Wendell Weeks, to ask him to make the glass for Apple. And 6 months later, it was on the first iPhone. This was Gorilla Glass.
Gorilla Glass.
Gorilla Glass has been used in phones, computers, and wearable devices for the last 17 years. Now it's used on billions of devices, and over the years, it's become a lot more durable. So we sent Veritasium producer Peter to Corning's headquarters to see for ourselves how Gorilla Glass is made and how it works.
We'll need a volunteer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, that's neat.
All right, so this is what we call our key
Like
scratch
Gorilla
demo.
Glue
In
or
here
Gorilla
we
Glass?
have polycarbonate, which is basically a plastic, and then we have a Gorilla Glass. And what you can do is scratch this side first, the polycarbonate, see how it goes.
Yep, definitely scratches.
Yep,
Trying to scratch in our logo. It's not quite.
there you go.
Are we getting Veritasium?
Yes.
All right.
So now try the same thing on the other side. So this is Gorilla Glass.
Yeah, definitely does not
Whoa.
scratch.
To break glass requires
Wait,
two
how is
things,
Gorilla
a
Glass
flaw
stronger?
and stress. To introduce the flaw, they sandblasted a spot in the middle of the glass to roughen up its surface. And Peter will apply the stress.
Take that tip and put it inside that circle and push down. See if you can break it apart. Not too hard, right?
No.
All right, so next we have strengthened soda lime. Strengthened as much as you can for soda lime. So
All right. Harder, for
a
sure.
little bit. Next we have Gorilla Glass.
I'm kind of terrified. Oh, man.
My, that's
Right, I know,
strong.
like, we don't actually want to do this, but I want to do this, so... Are you kidding me?
Is it even possible to break?
There's two responses. The first response is either, this is a really great demo, I completely understand what you're showing me. The second response is, I'm taking this personally. I need to try to break this slice.
Okay, it is a very good demo. I'm, like, genuinely really impressed at this point. I still want to break glass. Right, last one. No! Like, I'm bending
how?
the stylus. Like, okay,
How?
amazing.
Glass has existed in nature for billions of years. It's formed by
glass?
meteorite impacts, lightning strikes, and volcanic eruptions. But when humans came along, they found ways to use glass. Obsidian is volcanic glass. It forms when lava cools quickly. It's extremely brittle, so when you hit it with another rock, you can chip off sections of it to make a sharper and sharper edge.
I've seen
There's
this.
evidence of obsidian being used for cutting implements, arrowheads,
Yeah,
and tips of
exactly,
spears as
exactly.
early as 1.2 million years ago, and it hasn't gone out of fashion. Today, some surgical
How long have humans been on Earth? Isn't it like 250,000? Or am I just like Nether portal is just glass portal? Wait, you're right.
scalpels have their tips sharpened to just 3 nanometers across, and the best material for this purpose is obsidian. Compared to the million-plus years we've been using glass, we only started making
never
it
mind.
very recently, around 5,600 years ago. Most common glass is composed mainly of oxygen and silicon, the two most abundant elements in Earth's crust. In nature, you find them in the form of quartz, crystalline silicon dioxide. Crystalline means that the atoms are arranged in a regular, repeating structure, and quartz is the primary constituent of sand. So if you take some sand, heat it up to about 1700 degrees Celsius until it melts, and then rapidly cool it, it forms glass.
How do we
During
even
the
figure this
rapid
out,
cooling
bro?
process, the atoms don't have enough time to return to their periodically arranged crystal structure. So instead, they are stuck where they are, like a liquid that's been flash frozen in place.
That is why glass is considered an amorphous solid. Amorphous just means disorganized, not in any regular arrangement.
But perhaps this is where the misconception
that's
about glass
beautiful.
being a liquid comes from. It isn't
just
a
did
liquid.
random
At room
shit,
temperature,
some of it
glass
worked.
is solid
Yes.
because the atoms are fixed in place. They can't
Curiosity,
flow
man.
past each other like in a liquid. I even made a video about this 9 years ago. They are disordered, but they are solid. This amorphous structure is also what makes glass so brittle, because there's no way for the structure to relieve stress. When stress is applied to the glass, a small crack will form at a flaw on the surface. And as the glass cracks, the stress is applied to atoms with fewer neighbors, so the crack grows bigger, which eventually leads to the glass fracturing.
So next we'll move to what we call slapper demos. What we're using is sandpaper. This represents like an asphalt type surface.
Sure.
So if you were to get out of your car and you accidentally drop your phone in the parking lot, and what we're using is this fixture, it's bending it. So it's pre-stressing it. You have a rough surface to introduce the flaw. And on here we have an alternative glass, similar to some of the competitive stuff, different things on the market. And when you're ready, you can drop.
On 3, 2, 1. And some sounds.
It's gotta be
Okay.
broken.
Right? So bro,
Yeah,
now
bro.
what you want to see when you pick up your phone off the parking lot,
No. Hard break.
right? And then we have a Gorilla Glass and what we call the Mega Slap. Alright, like, very exciting name, right?
Oh, mine is
Now you
big.
can see me dramatically increase the height.
And I do it from here.
No, from
the
last
very top.
From the very top.
Okay, so
That's gotta break,
we're
bro.
not just increasing the height, we're also starting from way up here.
Right.
All right. Three,
gotta break.
2, 1.
Yeah, that's gone, bro. That's broken.
No, we're good. That's pretty cool.
How?
While
How?
the basic recipe for glass
How?
involves silicon dioxide, glass makers have been adding other ingredients to change its properties for thousands of years. Adding sodium carbonate, also known as soda, and
Gorilla
calcium
Glass,
oxide,
bro.
also
Shout
known
out
as
to
lime,
Gorilla Glass.
lowers the temperature at which it becomes liquid from 1700 degrees Celsius to around 1000 degrees Celsius. And that's why soda lime glass accounts for around 90% of all glass manufactured today. Another recipe includes adding boron trioxide to the mixture, forming a borosilicate glass. Glass is usually quite sensitive to changes in temperature. If you throw boiling water on your car's windshield, it'll likely
yeah.
shatter due to the glass rapidly
Bro,
expanding.
that's really made glass.
But
bro.
borosilicate
Bro,
glass has a
bro.
really low coefficient of thermal expansion. It doesn't grow or shrink very much, even with drastic temperature changes. So it's often used for laboratory glass, like beakers.
Let's go.
You want
The fuck did I just hear?
Glass like beakers.
Let's go.
It was not that funny, bro.
For laboratory glass, like
He just said, "Let's go." It's just like
beakers.
like
Let's go.
it was not that funny, bro. Come on, bro.
You want to grab a pair of these green glasses too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't see anything.
And while this specific recipe for Gorilla Glass is secret, it is based on a combination of silicon, aluminum, magnesium, and sodium. And the recipe keeps changing. The scientists are constantly trying different formulations to find more durable and scratch-resistant glasses.
Wait, if you have glass and you melt it and you let it cool like slowly, is it gonna turn into sand again? Cause like sand boiling and instantly freeze, that's glass. But if you like sand, boil it and then let it cool slow, is it then still glass, or is it like is it not though? Because it's just gonna go back to like its
here.
smaller particles, you know what I mean?
This is so cool. Do you ever feel like a pizza chef? Right? What's not like.
Pretty good. Good.
Damn.
This facility is actually where that experimentation takes place.
That's glass, bro. That's crazy. Another dumb question. I'm pretty sure it just goes back into glass. Oh yeah, you're right. But what if you have sand, you melt it, and then you let it cool? Cause it said like. Oh yeah, you're right.
The earliest human-made glass was likely an accident. People had been working metal for thousands of years before they made glass. So it's thought that some sand made its way into metalworking furnaces, forming small glass beads. But soon, glassmaking became its own art form, to make decorations, ornaments, statues, tableware, and
It's not
containers.
glass, bro.
Unlike clay,
is, though.
glass is impermeable to water, making it an ideal material for bowls and bottles. But then, glassmakers noticed that by adding other elements into the mix, they could change the color of the glass. By adding cobalt oxide, you would get a vivid blue. Adding cuprite
cobalt.
makes red.
But all of the historical glasses we've been talking about have been opaque, which is not really what we think of as glass today. After glassmaking was invented, thousands of years passed before we invented transparent glass. That's because making it is actually pretty difficult.
The first step came around 100 AD, when glassmakers in Alexandria added manganese dioxide into the mixture,
Manganese.
which led to a semi-opaque glass. It definitely wasn't transparent, but it did let some light through.
This is when glass began being used for windows. And glass windows were a huge deal. I mean, they provide a physical barrier that keeps the warm air in and the wind and critters out, while still allowing light to shine into your home.
That's low-key crazy, because like if you go back in time before this and you bring a window, imagine they're gonna be like boom boom boom. It's like an invisible
But the first truly transparent glass was made many centuries later, around the Italian city of Venice. The art of glassmaking was thriving and bringing a lot of money into the city.
just I can't.
There was
speak,
just
bro.
one problem. To make and manipulate glass, you need very hot furnaces. And at the time, Venice was a city built almost entirely out of wood. So yeah, glassmakers were bringing a lot of money into the city, but they also kept accidentally burning it down.
Yeah, that's
So in 1291, the government of Venice had had enough, so they moved all the glassmakers to the island of Murano. The island became known as the Isle of Glass, celebrated for making the most beautiful and intricate glassware anywhere on Earth. This is also where the glassmaker Angelo Barovier invented clear glass.
Wait.
This
Just imagine like this beautiful thing, you can just drop it and it's gone. It's just like, and then it's gone. That's
is also where the glassmaker Angelo Barovier invented clear glass. He took some seaweed rich in potassium oxide and manganese and burned it to create ash. Then he
Manganese.
added this ash into his glass, and when it cooled,
yeah, bro. Like, imagine having so much aura that because you created windows, you created clear glass. That's gotta be aura.
he found that the glass was transparent.
It's aura. Bro.
Most materials are opaque because when photons hit them, the photons are absorbed. The photon excites
Yeah,
an
of course he
electron,
didn't make windows, but he started it. You know, he made the like.
pushing it up
No.
to a higher energy level. But this only happens when the photon's energy matches the energy of an allowed electron transition. And different materials have different energy levels. In transparent glass, the energy required to move an electron from a lower state to a higher state is higher than the amount of energy that a photon of visible light has. So the photon just passes right through. Now, while glass is transparent to visible light, it does interact with other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. It absorbs much of the ultraviolet spectrum because UV photons have more energy, hence they can push the electron to the higher energy level and be absorbed. That makes it opaque to UV.
Wait, so if I like look outside, I can't see purple? Or can I still cause like, you know what I mean? No, like, you know what I mean, bro? Cause it's gonna like boom and go up so you can't see.
This is also how colored glass is made. You add impurities into the glass, which affects the electron energy levels, which then changes the color of the glass.
You can see every color outside. But I can't see purple right now. There's no purple. I can't see purple. I can see blue though. Oh wait. UV light, not purple. I get it.
If you
then.
look at a pane of glass side on, you might notice that it looks slightly green, which is because the most common glass used for windows, soda
Why you
lime,
bullying me,
has
bro?
impurities of iron oxides, which give the glass a green tinge. The glass absorbs more of the other colors than it does green. So that's why we see it.
Ah.
I think the only way we truly appreciate your related is how I so.
Truly transparent glass was a massive deal for 3 reasons. Sometime in the early 1300s in northern Italy, this clear glass was ground,
Didn't know it was
shaped, and
about
polished
UV light.
into small
My bad.
discs that were thicker in the
No,
center
but I thought it was purple, not UV, cause it was like purple when it went up. You know what I mean?
than at the edges. Due to their
You were
resemblance
right,
to
you were
lentil
right.
beans, they became known
I thought it
as
just meant
lenses.
purple, but not. Yeah, you know.
Glasses to correct farsightedness didn't seem all that important at the time because literacy rates were so low, they were almost exclusively used by monks.
Monks.
But after the invention of the printing press circa 1440, glasses became a vital tool. The printing press led to a precipitous drop in the cost of producing books, which led to a rapid increase in literacy rates. Now a large number of people became aware
there's
that they
book.
were farsighted. Thankfully, there was a technology available to solve the problem.
But how does glass just like make you see? Like how does glass make you see? Like you just look through it. Like it's just as clear as your eyes, bro. Like refraction. What's that, bro? Ah, it bends light, so if the glass is bent. Ah, that's smart. So you can't see properly, so you take like bended glass, then it curves it so like it fits. Smart, bro.
150 years later, a father and son, Hans and Zacharias Janssen, put 2 lenses in line with each other rather than side by side. And this was likely the world's first microscope. It made objects appear about 20 times their original size. In the 1660s, Antony van Leeuwenhoek made significant improvements on the microscope by grinding the lenses himself. He could magnify things 200 times, allowing him to see human cells. A few
Imagine
years
being
later,
the first person to see human cells. Like imagine imagine thinking like I would have thought it's like a whole different world. Like a different planet or some shit, but imagine you were the first person to see bacteria. Aura.
Hook published Micrographia, a book full of beautiful sketches of the microscopic world. And all of this was possible because of transparent glass. And in 1608, Hans Lippershey, an eyeglass maker, applied for a patent for a spyglass. His idea was for it to be used in warfare, to spy on your enemy on the battlefield. But the next year, Galileo Galilei heard about his idea and realized that he could point this device toward the sky to study the stars and planets.
Smart.
Galileo's telescope magnified objects in the night sky by about 30 times. In 1610, he was able to see the craters of the moon in detail, the phases of Venus, and 4 of Jupiter's largest moons. These observations were
Ooh,
the
bro.
final nail in the coffin for the geocentric model of the universe. He saw moons that were clearly revolving around Jupiter and not the Earth. And how else could you explain the phases of Venus other than to say that the planet must go around the sun? None of this would have been
With a
discovered without the
smart-
invention of transparent glass. 4 centuries later, we can now make glass that is orders of magnitude more transparent than water. Glass
Than
that is
water.
so transparent that if you were able to make a column
there's
as
go.
deep as the Mariana Trench, you would be able to see all the way to the bottom. This is the glass inside optical fibers.
Cladding core.
Oh, this is getting real. I'm stoked.
But the main thing we all need is durable glass. So how do you take a substance that is typically delicate and brittle and improve its scratch resistance and drop resistance? First, you start with an aluminosilicate base, and then, after the glass is made, you submerge it in a potassium salt solution at 420 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it really does look like water.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And don't know if I want to drink it.
Potassium and
Not a
sodium
smart,
are
bro.
chemically
Not a
very
smart
similar.
idea.
I mean, they both have one electron in their outer shell. So during this process, some of the sodium atoms are replaced by potassium atoms in the glass. Now, potassium atoms are physically larger than sodium atoms, but the glass is already set. It's rigid, so it doesn't increase in size. So now there's the larger
it's
potassium
so
atoms
clear.
all squeezed
Oh my, it's
together,
clear.
taking up the same amount of space as before. This increases the compressive strength in the surface of the glass, which makes it more durable.
Can you see any visual difference besides between them?
Bro, it looks so
Honestly,
clear.
no. I have 2 pieces of glass. One of them has gone through the ion exchange process. The other one hasn't. I don't know which one is which. And we're gonna figure that out really soon. Is ready?
You're gonna try to
3,
break it?
2, 1. Okay,
How is it so strong?
that's really cool. Can I
It's the
get
same
it
one, it's
harder?
much stronger. Yeah, but
That was a
look, bro, it's
My
unbreakable.
mind is genuinely blown. That's really cool. That's all
I
just
can
like
break it,
ion
I can break
exchange,
it.
right? That's all just. There's no other difference, right? You just
Yeah.
put it in a bunch of salt.
Yep, for a few hours.
For a few
and
hours.
voila.
So just glass and a whole bunch of salt, and it's stronger. Bro,
Yep.
I'm trying to think of a good analogy for this. You know, I can imagine if there were just a whole bunch of people sort of standing around casually and you try to run through them, you'd probably be able to bounce through a few of them, break through the crowd. But what if instead all of those people were squeezed together, shoulder to shoulder? You know, like people trying to get into a subway or something. If you try to run through them, all of those
do you get stronger too if you put yourself in salt? I'm not made of sodium or potassium. I'm like, we never know. If I go into the Dead Sea, am I gonna get stronger? Gorilla Jasper.
forces are just going
Yes,
to add
bro.
up and prevent you from getting in or from making a dent, making a
Gorilla
crack,
Jasper.
anything like that.
But the scientists at Corning are constantly trying to refine the process to make the glass even more durable. There
Isn't
is
it
a whole
already
team at the
durable
facility
enough?
that is dedicated to testing
just
and measuring
Jasper.
different glass prototypes.
All right, we're displacing it by 1.5 millimeters.
Yep.
2 millimeters. Whoop.
But the
And
glass
they
is
really put the glass
bending.
through its paces, conducting bending tests, scratching tests, and dropping heavy steel balls onto the glass.
3, 2, 1.
That is glass. Like, if I throw this at my window, it's gonna break. But if I throw it at that glass, it's like,
They also have replica phones with different glasses for the screen, and they drop them from ever increasing heights.
But we can go up a little bit and maybe
Right.
maybe we can imagine that I'm taking a selfie.
All of this is to make the next version of Gorilla Glass even more durable than it already is.
how
Like, are we
durable
doing
do you
this?
need it to
If you
be,
want to.
bro?
Hell yeah.
1.7 meters. Yeah, that's roughly selfie height. 3, 2, 1.
You're
Amazing.
not even dropping it,
Go
you're
down,
just
pick that
pulling
up.
down. Like, you're not.
Still
You're
survives.
just
Dude, that's pretty
like-
wild.
You know, I think it's rather ironic that we are making this video.
Do you think we can make windows out of Gorilla Glass? If no, why not? I think we can. But I think it might be like too big. So like the surface area, so it becomes like too fragile, you know? Like a little glass is very like solid, 'cause it's very compact. But big, large, you're gonna need a lot of like sodium and potassium. But I think in the future we might, in like 5 years minimum, max, 5 years max, we're gonna have Gorilla Windows.
Right now, while my phone looks like this, I don't know, can you see those? Yeah. So, it's still glass. It still cracks. It is not perfect yet. But it is constantly improving because scientists are working on ways to make this material more and more durable. And we have come so...
How about instead of making like stuff like that durable, make us durable, bro. Make us live longer to like 200 years, bro. Like, make us like live 300 years. Not phones, right? I mean, we have bulletproof glass, true, but it's like 9 layers of glass. But you know what I mean? Make us stronger, bro. Like, make our skin, right? Find some people that wants to get experimented on. They're like, alright, we gotta see how your skin works. We're gonna make you stronger. You know? Instead of these fucking, you know,
a long way.
Phones.
I am just appreciative
Make us into glass.
that I can have this material. And it is amazing. Even if it does still crack sometimes. With people who just refuse to get a
bro. Imagine
case for their phone.
Like, imagine if like the glass is gonna be stronger than like steel or a rock. Like imagine though, that would be crazy. But that was the most important material ever made from veritasium. Veritasium. www.